Hello, my creative friends. So I am going to do part 2 of the coloring of the 3 bird projects. Now this one is like the kinder project. So for kindergarten, if you made watercolor, you can practice mixing your colors to make the secondary colors. So you would use red, yellow, and blue. So red and yellow make orange, yellow and blue make green, and red and blue make purple. Miss Gordon got stumped there for a minute because I wasn't following the color wheel. So what I want you to do is, if you have paint at home, we're gonna make the colors. So I know I'm going to use a little bit of red and another little bit of red. And then I'm going to use more yellow to make orange. Now I know I want to make green, so I know I'm going to use yellow to make green. And blue, and then blue and red to make my own purple. So this is a great way for you to experiment and figure out how to make your secondary colors, which are orange, green, and purple, out of your primary colors. So I always use the end of my paintbrush to mix, just like this. And then I'm going to use this orange to paint my orange bird, just like so. So you can make different shades of oranges just by mixing your red and your yellow, and different shades. They'll come out different colors depending if you add more orange or if you add more yellow. So just to save a little bit of time, I'm going to go ahead and mix my blue and my yellow to make green, using the end of my paintbrush and then wiping it. So red, orange, yellow, green. Green goes here. I'm going to paint my birds. Okay, and I am using a different paintbrush just to save a little bit of time. And then my last color, I'm going to make purple or violet by mixing red and blue. It's going to be a really deep, pretty purple. So that's a really pretty blue purple. It's almost like a midnight. That was almost like a midnight blue. But you can make different shades depending on what you have on hand. You can always use markers or oil pastels to make your colors to paint. Okay, so we have our red. Then my next one is yellow. Then my next one is blue. Blue, blue, blue. And we'll be able to see a big difference between this blue and that purple I made. So I would let this dry before I move on to my next steps. Okay, now for the next project is the Rizzy bird. If you remember the Rizzy bird. The Rizzy bird, I use black paper, and you can use, remember, you can use construction paper crayons, or you can use white paper and use regular crayons, or if you have oil pastels. Now, so if you notice, I have a purple bird and I have an orange accent. So the reason why I chose that, because the complementary colors of the purple and the orange complement each other on the color wheel. So that's why I chose yellow and purple. But I think today I am going to use another color. I think I'm going to do blue and yellow. So I think I'm going to make my bird blue. So I'm going to outline with an oil pastel my bird. And remember, you can choose any of these projects and you can use anything that you might have. So if you have white paper and all you have is crayons, you can use crayons. If you have, so when I color, I'm going to go in a circular motion. If all you have is markers, then you can use markers. When I color, I like to color in a circular motion so that I don't see my lines. I don't see my back and forth lines. So even when I got up in here, I was still coloring in a circular motion. Just like this. Sometimes this happens from oil pastels. So if you're wanting some oil pastels, you can always get these. These are the big chunky oil pastels. I find these are like really, really fun to use for different projects. So I'm going to go ahead and go in with my yellow and color my wing down here. I'm going to color my tail feather here. I'm going to color my beak here. This is kind of more of an outline. Color it in here and here. Sideways and sideways. And then I'm going to add my little poof on the top. My little hairs that are sticking up. Some of y'all might have hair like that in the morning. I know I do. Then I'm going to color it. Finish coloring. So remember, you can do one of these or you can do all of these. So you get the idea. After you color everything, then you're going to use the black oil pastel or crayon. And you're going to go over just to outline some of your details, just so they stand out just a little more. And for the eye, I would definitely use white here. Just going to do one of the eyes. And I think my Rizzy bird is going to have a green eyes. So I will make green. And then I'll go in and outline, or do that, and then outline here, and outline here. And so that's what the bird would look like. Then when you're done, you can go back in and you can add the clouds. And I just use blue and white. And then you can add the grass. You can use different shades of grass, of green and yellow and white. And then you have your finished Rizzy bird. Now, the last bird is this one. This one's going to be a little bit of everything. So first of all, what you want to do is we are going to use the watercolors. So the watercolors that you made, we are going to use those watercolors. But if you notice, the background has white, but the watercolors went over it. So we're going to do what's called a watercolor resist. So what I'm going to do is use a white crayon, and I'm going to push really, really, really hard. And I'm going to make my clouds all over. And if you have paint, like regular paint, like we used with the first, you can totally use regular paint. I'm going to go ahead and use black here with the crayons. Color it in. So this one I'm going to use a little bit of crayon and a little bit of oil pastel. But if you only have crayons, you can totally just use crayons. If you have oil pastels, you can use oil pastels. If you have paints, you can paint. It's entirely up to you to use what you have. Just like so. And then the next step after you color, so you're going to finish coloring all these, and I'm going to use this one. I'm going to use I think I'm going to do cool colors. So this one I used warm colors. I did red, orange to yellow. I think I'm going to do green, and I'm using oil pastels here. Just going to color. And again, you can use what you have. Oops. I'm going to bring it up like this. Color in a circular motion again. When you're done with this whole thing, you are going to want to do the outline, which I will show you that in step 3. We'll do all the outline and the details. So just focus on coloring the entire thing. So when I see you, part 3, we'll finish up with the outlining and the watercolor. Bye, guys.